photography, as a medium, uses an instant to reveal one's inner instinct, a moment to reflect a movement, our surroundings to find our center, and the abstract to tear down the obstructions of our creative potential. With this in mind, the Annenberg Foundation has built a new cultural hub in Los Angeles' Century City, the Annenberg Space for Photography. And though it is said that a picture is worth 1,000 words, it's easy to be at a loss for words when visiting the space.
I'm Leonard Abbey. I'm the Executive Director of the Annenberg Foundation. The Annenberg Foundation was founded by the late Ambassador Walter Annenberg in 1989. The foundation is what's known as a responsive grant maker. The trustees respond to community interest.
I am the Talent and Content Manager for the Annenberg Space for Photography. And I basically came here before it was even a space to investigate Wallace Annenberg's idea about the uses of photography.
When the trustees did a kind of a cultural audit of the greater Los Angeles area, discovered there was no single institution exclusively focused on photography. There were some wonderful collecting institutions that had photography as part of their portfolio, but there was no single destination for it. So that led then to this decision to not be a mile wide and inch deep, but to really focus on something.
I haven't been in a space like this before. It's very unique for many, many reasons. The architects designed it with some architectural details connected to the camera. So many good conversations take place around the kitchen. I don't know of any other photography gallery who has a kitchen kind of right in the middle of the space.
This just shows how the space breaks from the conventions of what it means to be a museum, not simply providing exhibitions, but rather fueling community by hosting a salon-style approach to the exchange of ideas. Also, the space opts out of passively displaying photography in an age of new media. Instead, their presentations prod you from complacency, stimulating your senses so as to feel the overwhelming depth and breadth of the artist's voice and subject.
We would use guest curators for each show. The first show, Los Angeles, was curated by Ann Wilkes Tucker. She would call this a selection of the kinds of photography you're going to be seeing in the space, since there's 4 kinds: fine art, portraiture, journalism, and architecture. And the second show, Pictures of the Year, was curated by Rick Shaw, who's the director of the Pictures of the Year contest.
Pictures of the Year International is a program of the Donald W. Reynolds Journalism Institute at the Missouri School of Journalism. It began in 1944 as a competition to recognize war photographers during World War II. Since then, it has grown into the oldest and most prestigious photojournalism program in the world.
With the first 2 exhibits, it's clear that the Annenberg Foundation understands how best to utilize their forum, first displaying the varied and profound work of the Los Angeles community, then opening up the space to the foremost work of the global community.
You see the pictures on the wall, you see the video presentation. It kind of rounds out the story about the work and the person doing the work.
The other thing that photo editing is known for is what we call the third effect. 1 + 1 = 3. When you actually take 2 different images from a given situation and the effect of those 2 images played together creates a whole new level of communication.
We also are creating this programming in the digital space so that we can give it to other galleries or other places or public space, and people, the public who may never come into a gallery or museum, can see something really worthwhile. That's really important, and that's the future.
I think now today it really is about looking ahead and what's going on in the world around us. This foundation in particular, and the Annenberg family, they want to be relevant. So as people come to the photography space, you'll see content in the space and exhibitions and photographers working today. and working around issues that confront our everyday lives. So as much as people see the foundation as a grant-making foundation, it's probably as much about catalyzing and being a catalyst for change through conversation. And in as much this is an Annenberg Space for photography, it's a destination for ideas.
Between the subject, the shutter, and the artist is a conduit of life, emotion, and a need to acknowledge the world that surrounds us. The Annenberg Space for photography does what only a truly great art and cultural center can do. It took a medium that is so common in our lives and presented it in a way that goes past the frozen moment in time into a future that utilizes our common communal bonds and the power of our innovation to reach the full potential of an artistic space.